Thanks, Chris. Tonight, from under the Golden Gate Bridge, the NewsNation Nexstar California governor's debate. On the stage tonight, 2 Republicans and 4 Democrats ahead of the jungle primary. Democrats have been given a new chance with the implosion of Eric Swalwell in a sex scandal. But the most important man in the debate won't be on the stage. That's Donald Trump. Democrats want to make it a referendum about him, and Republicans will have to answer for him. Good evening now from San Francisco. Right now at 6 p.m. Pacific time, an hour until the candidates take the stage here in the Golden State. In a moment, Bill O'Reilly on whether Democrats can make the midterms a referendum on President Trump. Plus, gas in California is close to $2 above the national average. Is it time to tell the truth about the real reason things are so expensive these days? Chris Steyerwalt joins us on how gerrymandering is the real threat to democracy. First, our Why It Matters segment tonight. Believe it or not, the most important person in tonight's debate will not be on the stage. He is 3,000 miles away at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. President Trump right now is strategizing a way to end the war with Iran. Every Democrat in the race will tell you tonight they want to make California more affordable, blah, blah, blah. But their ads, where they are spending their money, shows us they really want to run against Donald Trump.
Trump is ripping off California and Californians.
I have been opposing Trump and fighting him since 2017.
What we need is new ideas, a willingness to take on dangerous leaders.
We've sued the Trump administration multiple times in San Jose. And when the Trump administration violates all our civil liberties and tries to tear up the Constitution, we're going to go to court.
Because Democrats want to make this race about Trump, and to a certain extent because of the media, every Republican here in California is forced to answer for him.
Donald Trump's not running for election. I'm running this election for Californians. This isn't for the Democrat Party. It's certainly not for Republican Party or Independent Party. This is for Californians. People are ready for something different outside of typical politics.
I just want to go to the Trump endorsement and one of the arguments that's made there, which is, oh, it's going to hurt you because he's so unpopular in California, etc. You heard it 1,000 times. No, it's not. We know perfectly well that the Democrats, regardless of whether I got the Trump endorsement, that's how they would have been, attacking me how they will be attacking me, because they got nothing else.
Hilton is not wrong. Objectively, there are things in California that are bad. Taxes are high. Gas is more expensive. Big tech and the billionaires behind it are leaving. Crime certainly is a huge problem. Same with immigration. But every voter I talked to here about what they cared about the most talked about Donald Trump. And it was all they wanted to talk about. Now, yes, that is in San Francisco. That's not in some of the more rural parts of California. But Donald Trump likes to make everything about himself, whether Republicans like it or not. Tonight's debate is a preview for the midterms, and that's a problem for Republicans beyond California. New polling finds 47% of Republicans disapprove of Trump's performance on affordability. It's not really whether they approve or disapprove of President Trump. It's they hear the word affordability and they say things are a lot more expensive and they don't like it. That is the problem for the White House. And all roads lead to the White House right now. And at the White House, they are consumed with Iran.
And the president's offering them a little bit of flexibility because we want to see a unified proposal to the president's very strong proposal. And he's made his red lines very clear. Again, the United States maintains control over this situation, leverage over the Iranian regime. The president chose to extend the ceasefire because it's Iran who needs to get their act together. We want a unified response, and that's what the president is awaiting.
Now, Trump unilaterally extended the ceasefire with Iran, set no deadline. The Iranians then used that time to fire on U.S.-linked ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Iranians will see the non-response as weakness. That's just the law of the jungle, which is what the Middle East is, maybe the law of the sandbox. It will empower the Islamic Revolutionary Guard and hardline parts of the Iranian government to consolidate power because they keep taking on the United States and nothing happens. The New York Times reports to Iran, Trump blinked first by extending the ceasefire for Iranian leaders. That result will most likely validate their conviction that their readiness to endure the pain of the war is higher than Mr. Trump's. We told you about a month ago this was all going to come down to who could endure more pain. This was not about who could win militarily, because the United States military is the best in the world. There's nobody even close. The problem for President Trump right now is he wants the war over, and he can't figure out how to do it. Tonight's debate highlights Trump's time problem. The Iran war both distracts him and causes him domestic economic problems. Last April, a little bit more than a year ago now, Bill O'Reilly predicted Trump had 1 year to get things turned around.
He's running an enormous risk, far more than people know. Because this time next year, April Fool's Day, 2026, if the economy is wobbly and prices have not come down substantially, Democrats will win the midterms. And that's it for Donald Trump's presidency.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.